April 13th in history. In 1204, Constantinople stood as the greatest city in Christendom, a glittering Byzantine capital of golden domes, ancient libraries, and imperial splendor. Catholic Crusaders breached the city walls and unleashed 3 days of looting, ransacking Orthodox churches, palaces, and libraries meant to be holy allies. The sack shattered the Christian world permanently, the Byzantine Empire never recovered, and the Orthodox Catholic schism deepened into a wound that endures today. In 1598, France was exhausted. Decades of brutal religious civil wars between Catholics and Protestants had left the kingdom fractured and bleeding. King Henry IV signed the Edict of Nantes, granting Protestants freedom of worship, legal equality, and the right to hold fortified towns. The edict ended 4 decades of war and became one of Europe's first laws guaranteeing religious tolerance, shaping the idea of coexistence for centuries. In 1743, a child was born at Shadwell Plantation in Virginia. The rolling hills of colonial America would shape a mind destined to redefine liberty itself. Thomas Jefferson became the principal author of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, enshrining the radical idea that all men are created equal and governments derive power from the governed. Jefferson's legacy spans the Declaration, the Louisiana Purchase doubling the nation's size, and founding the University of Virginia, ideals of liberty still echoing through American democracy today. In 1861, tensions between North and South had reached a breaking point. A small Union garrison held Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, surrounded and outnumbered. Confederate cannons opened fire on April 12th. After 34 hours of relentless bombardment, Union Major Robert Anderson surrendered Fort Sumter on April 13, 1861. The fort's fall electrified the nation. Both North and South mobilized millions. Fort Sumter ignited 4 years of war that would reshape America forever. In 1960, the Cold War pushed America to think beyond the horizon. Navy submarines carrying nuclear missiles needed to know exactly where they were, anywhere on Earth. On April 13, 1960, Transit 1B launched into orbit, the world's first successful navigation satellite, sending precise radio signals that pinpointed any vessel's location on the globe. Transit's principles became the blueprint for GPS. Today, billions rely on satellite navigation daily, in phones, planes, and ships, all tracing back to that single 1960 launch. In 1970, 3 astronauts aboard Apollo 13 streaked toward the moon, 2 days into a journey that would become NASA's most harrowing rescue mission. An oxygen tank ruptured, crippling the command module. The crew radioed, "Houston, we've had a problem." They fled to the lunar module to survive. 6 days later, all 3 astronauts splashed down safely. Apollo 13 became a testament to human ingenuity and remains NASA's finest hour. In 1975, Beirut was a vibrant, cosmopolitan city, but deep sectarian tensions between Christian, Muslim, and Palestinian factions were about to explode. On April 13th, Falangist gunmen ambushed a bus of Palestinian passengers in a Christian neighborhood, killing 27 people and igniting the war. 15 years of civil war followed, killing 120,000 people and shattering Lebanon society, a warning about how quickly sectarian violence can consume a nation. In 1976, America celebrated its 200th birthday. The U.S. Treasury chose this bicentennial moment to revive a forgotten denomination, the $2 bill. On April 13th, the Treasury officially reissued the $2 bill, last printed in 1966, now bearing a new image of the Declaration of Independence, signing on its reverse. Though meant to cut printing costs, the $2 bill became a curiosity. Rarely spent, it lives on as a collector's charm and symbol of American monetary folklore. In 1986, Rome stood at a crossroads of history. For centuries, the Catholic Church and Jewish community had lived apart, divided by deep wounds and mistrust. On April 13th, Pope John Paul II crossed the threshold of Rome's synagogue, the first pope in modern history to do so, embracing the chief rabbi and calling Jews our elder brothers. The visit reshaped Catholic-Jewish relations forever, building on Vatican II's reforms and paving the way for decades of interfaith dialogue, reconciliation, and shared humanity. In 2003, American forces swept into Iraq, toppling Saddam Hussein's regime. Baghdad had just fallen, and one last stronghold remained, Tikrit, Saddam's ancestral hometown. On April 13th, U.S. forces entered Tikrit virtually unopposed. The regime's final military stronghold collapsed in hours, ending organized resistance across Iraq. The fall of Tikrit marked the end of conventional war, but not peace. A years-long insurgency soon engulfed Iraq, reshaping the Middle East for decades.